Another Hall of Fame NFL player is going to an HBCU to help educate and train the next generation. Former Baltimore Ravens safety and Super Bowl champion Ed Reed will be the new head coach at Bethune-Cookman University. He's following in the footsteps of other NFL greats like Eddie George at Tennessee State University, of course, Deion Sanders at Jackson State University. We've also seen more and more former NFL coaches and coordinators go the HBCU route. I want to bring the panel in on this discussion really quick. I'll start with you, Jason. What do you think that means when we're starting to see this top flight talent now going to HBCUs about building these programs and bringing more attention to the institutions?
Well, I think you have to give some of the credit to Deion Sanders. I mean, this happened before. We've seen NFL players like Doug Williams when he was at Grambling State University. We've seen this before, but I think Deion Sanders brought such attention and this as a viable route to get into head coaching and not have to be an assistant for a lot of former NFL players, that you're going to get someone the quality of Ed Reed, who is unquestionably the greatest safety to ever play the game. Don't at me. There's no question about it that this is the greatest safety. Tom Brady said the only player he's ever feared was Ed Reed. So, I think this is also going to bring a lot of attention to Bethune-Cookman. If you're a defensive player, I don't know who you'd want to be coached by other than Ed Reed. So I think that this is something where Deion Sanders got the ball rolling, and you're seeing a lot of guys who want to help young men, particularly young black men like themselves, and get a head coaching gig. And HBCUs seem to be a viable avenue for that. So I think it's great. I think it's going to be amazing. I think it's going to bring even more attention to HBCU sports.
Christina, there was a lot of criticism of Deion in the last couple of weeks, leaving for Colorado from Jackson State. But at the same time, he showed these former NFL players that you can come coach at HBCU for 1 or 2 years and then be making $5 million a couple years later. Do you think there should be as much credit given to Ed Reed for taking this position as there was criticism of Deion Sanders for leaving?
Absolutely. I think that the example that Deion set is just like you said. HBCUs create opportunities for the people who attend them. So if Deion Sanders had not coached at Jackson State, that $5 million opportunity may or may not have been available to him. And so we should seek out opportunities at HBCUs and allow those opportunities to take us where they lead. There's no shame in elevating yourself to a $5 million salary. Although your start may be meager, he did a lot. Deion, meaning, did a lot for Jackson State. And so the attention he brought both on the field and to the athletic program, to the city of Jackson, Mississippi, while they were going through a water crisis, from a perspective of a coach, and put the spotlight on student athletes. Ed Reed can go and do the same thing at Bethune-Cookman. I think everywhere there's an HBCU in this country, there's an opportunity for a former NFL star to go and shed a light on opportunities for improvement, and the talent that exists at HBCUs. We can and should be willing to criticize and elevate.
And Joe, this seems to be a win-win for everybody. The institution, when these Hall of Fame players come, they get more attention, they get more sponsorship, they get more money, they get better recruiting classes. They're getting 5-star recruits going to HBCUs now. All the coaches, on the other hand, instead of having to be an intern for a head coach and getting coffee and sleeping in the office, you get the opportunity to dive right into head coaching of these students that open opportunities for you down the road. What do you think it means to these students to have somebody like Ed Reed be your head coach, and kind of what that provides to them, giving that sort of mentorship that you really can't get anywhere else?
I think that every sports coach has an obligation not only to help their athletes be better athletes, but to be better people. I think that is magnified in the Black community, where you have to instruct and remind on things, including how to deal with police, the importance of you finishing school. Those types of things. And so I would think that hopefully this coach, Coach Reed, and others will take it on themselves to be that much more comprehensive, and not only in helping these folks be good men, but actually helping their colleges do well economically. Like Gwen Guthrie said, he said, ain't nothing going on but the rent. But my favorite part of the song was there's no romance without finance. If Bethune-Cookman doesn't build buildings, if it doesn't add resources, if it doesn't add endowment, then ultimately the only people that will benefit will be college people, will be the college football players. Another thing that can happen, by the way, which doesn't necessarily have to take a whole lot of money, is that, and some schools are already doing this, that they have someone designated to help folks deal with NIL, to help them deal with taking advantage of economic opportunities that can make a huge difference. There are kids that are making thousands of dollars and hundreds of thousands of dollars, if not more, on social media. That's something that you can do, particularly when you're connected to the culture. You know what's hot, you know what's going on, you know what folks like. You can really help them be business people, help them to understand how to maximize this thing economically, even as they do schooling. And so what we're hoping is that this allows them to be comprehensive, and that there is a renewed discussion. Roland talks about this all the time, about people that went to Bethune-Cookman. How many people are going to give to Bethune-Cookman that went there that haven't given since however much period of time because they just added Ed Reed? Okay, I don't want them to be in condemnation, but I want them to give and remember that Bethune-Cookman was the school that they went to, and there were always kids there during that whole time that they didn't give that needed their support. And so what we have to do is use it as an opportunity to teach a culture of fundraising from the very, very beginning of the college years. Just like we should be teaching money at the dinner table in our communities, we should be teaching fundraising so that our HBCUs can survive and thrive. Of course, football gives you an opportunity to create a lot of money that helps to support the other sports. So it's absolutely important, but it draws attention. It can create academic partnerships. Even what's going on with the Big Ten is not only beneficial financially on the sports side, but it's beneficial because of the collaborations that will take place academically. So we need to think that way and be comprehensive so that these places can not only survive, but actually thrive.
Absolutely, and I think it's important that we give back to our HBCUs and our institutions. I'm just saying I want Michael Vick to come coach Clark Atlanta University. That's all that I'm asking. Vick, come back home, come coach the Panthers. And also, let's not forget, the one thing that's most important during these football games is the marching band. Halftime is game time. Stick around for the fifth quarter. Let's not take our eyes off the prize of what we're really here for. It's the band.
All right, folks, back to our Roland Mark Unfiltered video in just one moment.
When you talk about blackness and what happens in black culture, we're about covering these things that matter to us, speaking to our issues and concerns.
This is a genuine people-powered movement.
There's a lot of stuff that we're not getting. You get it, and you spread the word.
We wish to plead our own cause. Too long have others spoken for us. We cannot tell our own story if we can't pay for it.
This is about covering us.
Invest in black-owned media.
Your dollars matter. We don't have to keep asking them to cover our stuff. So please support us in what we do, folks.
We want to hit 2,000 people, $50 this month, raise $100,000. We're behind $100,000, so we want to hit that. Y'all money makes this possible.
Checks and money orders go to P.O. Box 57196, Washington, D.C. 20037-0196. The Cash App is $RM Unfiltered. PayPal is R Martin Unfiltered. Venmo is RM Unfiltered. Zelle is Roland at RolandSMartin.com.